So while I didn't exactly confirm that this series was over, it kind of feels like this is the series that just refuses to die. We are back again. Another episode of the Hartford Whalers Franchise Mode series. Right here. On this channel. You know the name of it. You're on it right now. If you don't know the name of it, yet you're still watching this video, considering we're like 60 episodes into the series, then man, do I have some questions for you. We're back. We're not done. The support for this series is still there. Yes, this series will have to end sooner rather than later, and we will start up a new series, whether that will be kind of a gimmicked series, as I've talked about. Will that be the return of Nations United? Will it be the start of a series more straightforward, like we saw with Montreal, whether that be with a Winnipeg, a Toronto, a Boston, whoever else? I don't know yet. I can say that honestly, I don't know yet. However, that doesn't mean that it won't be good. At least I hope it'll be good. At least on par with this series, because I feel like this has been a pretty damn good series, and apparently you guys feel the same, because, yeah, we started this in September. It is January. Middle of January already, and here we are. Anyway, let's get down to business, because we have some things to attend to before we get into the sim of this episode. As was pointed out, we have a couple of guys that are actually worth signing, who would be better suited probably in the AHL, or actually just flat out in the AHL, rather than just sitting there and doing nothing. The problem is, I feel like they can still develop while sitting there and doing nothing, but also, we have some guys that I really don't want to get rid of. I mean, we have two defensemen that we haven't signed that are worth bringing in, whether they are medium elite or low top four, which means Laflemme and Ranta have got to go. And I got to admit, I'm kind of sad over that, because they're both in a good spot. High 60s at 20 years old, and they have a good chance of being relatively decent defensemen. But we basically have no choice. They got to go. And I hate to do this, guys. I really do. But I am picking Kostitsyn at the bottom there over Phil Crosby. Forgive me, if you will. Not to mention, I'm just going to throw a little bit more of the garbage that we have on the team into this deal. And let's see if we can get a deal done here with the Arizona Coyotes. Almost called them Phoenix just because of the amount of games I've been playing lately where they have been Phoenix, whether it be FHM, NHL 2005, NHL Hits. You know, we've been playing a lot of games lately where they were still the Phoenix Coyotes. How about a second and 2/3? Is that enough? How about a second and a third? You know, I really feel like the value is in their favor there. All right, I'll take just a second. Those we could have gotten some extra picks out of that, but it's all right. We'll go best lines because that will only affect the AHL for the moment. And you know what? I mean, I know we already have 4 first-round picks. Let's just go ahead and get rid of some of these players here that we know will never make an impact on our team, just to get rid of some of the clutter. Who's not expected to do well? That would be the Bruins. They probably don't want to trade any picks. That is correct. Who wants to get rid of draft picks? The Buffalo Sabres do. How about a nice shiny first-round pick? No? Okay. Well, how about a nice shiny second-round pick? Never mind. How about a third? Not a fourth, a third. Third-round pick? Right. How about the grand old 4th-round pick? There we go. Yeah, Buffalo, you sure did come out on top in that deal. Congratulations. As we just continue to clear out some of the clutter. You know what? I actually think, though, everybody else I'll keep. The medium top 9s that aren't signed at this point, although Janes, I don't really know if we're going to be able to sign him. Celios is a little bit worse than I would have expected. You know what? Maybe we should look at holding on to some other players here. We got the low top 4 that I'm going to sign. Unfortunately, again, I'm going to keep Kostitsyn. But I'm thinking it might be worth getting rid of these players here. Keeping Janes, who looks half decent. Kang looks half decent. And, of course, Kostitsyn is pretty solid. You have Boutin at a 63, which, I don't know, I'd say we're good, right? yeah, if we just get rid of these guys, we should be fine. I don't know if I'm going to have enough roster spots to sign everybody. I don't think I will. But if we do, well, then sweet. We'll make the most of it. If not, it is what it is. I'm not going to be too concerned. Edmonton, how about a nice shiny second-round pick? And just give me everything. Give me all of your picks. Why not? Does that sound good? Thank you. There you go. You definitely won on that deal, but I just wanted to keep it simple and straightforward. So, 2 contracts where we will look to sign whoever we can here. We will have, what, 45 spots? Yes, 45 contracts. I wish we had 45 spots. I'm going to go ahead and sign basically everybody. I'm going to prioritize the guys at the top of the list here. So we'll sign, I'm going to call him Wah, just because he's quite French. Kruger. We got Janes, and can we sign Kang? Yes, we can. All right, so we were able to sign everybody. Now, we're definitely not going to have enough spots for everybody to get ice time. So that's a bit of a deal, but maybe it's worth it? Maybe. Possibly. We'll see. Now, as far as the NHL lineup goes, before I fix up the AHL lineup, I've changed things around a little bit. I've also changed some player types. You should come to expect that at this point, as I set up players with what their attributes best say they should be. So Leideker's a sniper. I changed Lowry back to a playmaker. He did very well as a sniper last year. I could easily change him back mid-season. Kreider is still a playmaker. Lowry, of course, was also changed to a center. I am going to try Alt-Schuler on the second line with Lashoff and Skinner to start the year. Gogolev is now a left-wing two-way. Schremp is the same. Copeland is the same. A bit risky to only play Copeland on the third line. He has power play time, though, and we'll pay attention to his morale. And, of course, we have McAllister, Prestberg, and Cristiano Wagner. 2 Cristianos on this team. The defense is Sizek and Tuzolino. I've changed basically everybody to a two-way. A lot of these guys do have solid offensive awareness, but I'm a little bit concerned. In the case of Delisle here, the passing and the puck control is still a little bit weak. If he's not really putting up points as a two-way, I am going to try him as an offensive defenseman. Saugus we wouldn't change. Same thing with Gostad, a little bit concerned about the passing being a tad bit low, and he doesn't have that great of a shot. Not that great of a skater either, at least compared. You know what, maybe Delisle should be a two-way. Incredible skating, 91 offensive awareness. I think in the case of Gostad and Telquist, two-way is fine. I am actually going to go change Delisle to an offensive defenseman. Puck skills and shooting, a bit of a concern, but 91 offensive awareness with incredible skating. It makes all the sense in the world to do that. So let me actually go change that before we fix up the AHL lines, and then we'll try to breeze through this season. I don't know if we're going to treat it, kind of draft to glory style, where we go through one season in one episode. I don't think we'll go, I don't know. I think we'll probably just go through the regular season. I don't think we'd handle the playoffs in just this episode alone. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it goes well, and we don't want to stop the sim, and we see what happens. We'll find out. I mean, it is kind of the one benefit to Goon Squad, where, playoffs haven't really been a factor and won't be until we're late into that series anyway. So there is a little bit of a difference, as we, of course, expect this team to do well. Let me double check the power play here. Delisle's there. Okay, good. And now, to sort out the AHL. So we'll take out Alex Lyon. We'll bring in Perron as the backup. Let's sort the defense next. Griffin Reinhart is going to be out for Bayer. We want him to get as much time as possible. We got the low elite, medium elite, low elite, and medium elite. Jesus. So, yeah, the other two are still going to be scratched. Kruger and Neterost, both at low top 4. They are depth alongside Griffin Reinhart. So we're going to want to go medium elites on the top pairing. We got low elite, medium top 4. I might actually go with medium top 4 on the second pairing instead. So we got Kiolfito and Philippi Bork on the third pairing. Bayer with Flood. And we're going to go Kasperitis with Wah. Not too bad. That defense is actually pretty disgusting. And then, for our forwards, of course, Versteeg will replace Pearson. Actually, let's sort this out. Who is bottom of the food chain here as far as potentials. We have a couple medium top nines. We do. I don't necessarily want to take out Kostitsyn, but we might have to. I mean, we are kind of balancing getting the best players into the team. The one thing, though, that I'm concerned about is whether or not we should keep Bob Menard. I don't really think we should, to be honest. I just don't think he's going to make it. Sutter is also getting to the point where I don't think he's going to make it either. So, man, Sanford as well. Actually, a lot of these guys are already at the point where I don't think they're going to make it. So let me take a look. Rokon can definitely be down on the fourth line to start. Kessel might be a tad bit more safe. We got Sanford at 23. You know what? I'm going to put Kostitsyn and Kessel ahead of him. We're basically going left to right as far as like who I'm optimizing for this lineup. Low top 6, 68, 20 years old. You know what? I think that they also get dropped just a little bit. So would I put Sanford ahead of either of them? Not really. Sutter's 23. I'm going to keep Kostitsyn in the lineup. We have seen him develop into a very solid player. All of these low top 6 players are in pretty big danger of not being in our lineup whatsoever. Then we got the medium top 9 there. So I'm actually going to put Menard ahead of Kessel. But Rokon is the first guy we got to look at taking out of this lineup. We have a lot of centers that are vying for a spot. Unfortunately, I really want to keep Essa Hall, but he would only be here as a depth option. We can't actually put him into the lineup. So who has the best potential here? Just a couple of low top 6s, and honestly, they're not great either. The medium top 9s are okay. You know what? We might actually be fine here. Oh, God. It's just that a lot of these guys kind of suck. That's the only problem. A lot of them, you can tell already, aren't really going to make an impact. I guess we'll leave this the same way. I'm just going to set up these lines now. But, yeah, there's a really good chance that the players in our bottom 6 right now are not going to be around for all that much longer. Let's see, who's the best center out of the bunch? I'd actually go with Ryder. So let's swap these two. We'll have Bob Menard on the top line, I suppose. Actually, let's go for Bradford. So there we go. I'm thinking this team's set. The defense is very solid. I know we're like 12, 13 minutes into this. I haven't done anything yet, but that's okay because we are pretty much going to breeze right through this. So let's go. Let's go. We shall continue on with the sim. We'll see how this team does, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, there is definite concern. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just to make this go by a little bit more quickly, I think we are going to try to treat this in a very draft to glory style. A very heavy draft to glory style. Didn't mean to hit save file, but that's okay. We can just hit cancel there. It's fine. I would have saved it. It's fine, but no problem. I'm going to let the AI handle the scouting. I'm also going to let the AI... Oh, what else was I going to do, actually? I was tempted to turn off injuries, I got to be honest. Oh, do I turn off injuries? Yes. Just to breeze through this. I'm turning off injuries. I'll turn them back on for the playoffs, which is typically the way to go. Appleby and McKinnon are in the lineup for the Capitals. I'm not too concerned. To be honest, I would prefer the players that are in the lineup for the AHL right now. I want them to get as much time as possible. It's a lot for a lot of those players. It's their last chance to show that they are actually going to somehow make it to the NHL level, even though, let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. So really, the main goal for the AHL team is to also find success this season. Will it happen? I don't know, and speaking of success, I'm not sure if it's going to happen at the NHL level. We lost our first 2 games. We do get a big 4-0 win over the Panthers, and we get a trade offer. Absolutely not. I will not accept the deal for who I presume to be Seth Jones at this point in time. we know that our team is set up exactly as we want them to be set up. So I feel like I made the right choice there, turning off injuries, letting the game handle scouting. We can just progress, and we'll see what happens. Although, there was a point that I wanted to make, as it's apparently going to be a strong class, which, if we make it that far, cool. Who knows? We might win the cup this year and call it quits. I don't know. We are actually starting to gain a little bit of traction here, up to 10-3 on the season. I'm sure we're getting a trade offer here, which means I'm going to have to go clear out the block. But, no, maybe. No, we're good. Okay. I still haven't been able to think of that point I was going to make, but that's okay. We'll move on. It'll come to me eventually. Eventually. Or it won't, and I'll just sit here and continue to be frustrated and ramble until I actually think of it. It had something to do with the AHL. Probably just a point that I've made numerous times over again, as far as, what our game plan is, which, progression and such. Isn't that always the game plan? We're up to 16-6-1 in the regular season so far. The Whale aren't exactly killing it. Like I mentioned, the defense and the goaltending as well, fairly decent. It's just the offense that I'm worried about, and considering a lot of those players aren't going to make it, I don't know, maybe there's a better way to go about it. But we have lost 5 out of our last 6 games now, heading into December. We don't need another February collapse in a sim this time out. Once was enough, EA. Although we are definitely starting to pick up a few more losses. We beat the Florida Panthers in a shootout, 21-10-3 now on the year. I still, for the life of me, cannot think of the point that I was going to make. And I feel oh so awful about it. Pressburg wasn't happy about his ice time, but he's just going to have to deal with it. He's not happy about it. We can move him out. I guess really the main thing I was going to say is with that AHL team, what's the point in trading a lot of those guys that I don't think are worth keeping anyway? Most teams are near 50 contracts. And, we'd have to rely on more than likely signing free agents to kind of make that team a little bit better than they are. They're still on pace to be a playoff team, I would imagine, which is the goal. Although I do have to wonder, at the NHL level, are we still on pace to be a playoff team? We had a very solid record, and now it's just kind of okay. Are you shitting me? Dallas, you have some fucking nerve. Are you? Okay. All right. No, let's explore this, shall we? Let's explore this. My first round pick this year, which I have 7 of them or whatever, a 6th in Sanford, who is one of the players I was considering trading because I don't think he's going to make it to the NHL level. For you-know-who, Mr. 44 points, but couldn't do shit while he was a Whaler. Oh, let's see. Let's guess what season he went from being a Whaler to being a star. Can't imagine. Getting fucking 7 more goals and then 16 more goals. His career high here was 22. He gets 36. The reason we let him go is because of how overpaid he is in Dallas, and that is the only way I would want him back, although we do have that extra cap space. Of course, I can technically afford him. Who has an expiring contract coming up? Isaac, Lowry, who else, actually? Delisle, Saugus, Flood. Okay, so we do have some contracts coming up. It wouldn't be the smartest deal in the world, but we are paying Tanner Pearson and Griffin Reinhart $33 million. So, I'm sure money-wise it would actually work out. Put it this way. Oh, so it would be what, $26 million, roughly, between Isaac, Lowry. That's like 18, though, right there. Yeah, it would be rough. How is the current top 6 doing right now? I guess that's my first question if we're honestly going to entertain this. Lydecker, he's been the main man this year. We got rid of McKinnon. Only 29 points. I don't get it, man. He's not even on pace to hit 60. I don't know what is wrong with Lucas Lydecker. What's Lowry at? Oh my God. I guess I ruined him by changing him to a playmaker. 2 goals, 24 assists. Kreider, 4. Oh, no wonder why we're slipping. Our top line is awful. The hell? Altshuler with 21 points. Lashoff with 24. Copeland has 20. He hasn't complained about ice time, which is nice. Gogolev's doing all right. Skinner's doing pretty well. I mean, we don't really have room for him. If you think about it, we don't really have room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 with Shrimp. I would have to get rid of... I'd have to get rid of Gogolev to make room for him. That's the only way. So, much as I don't really want to do that, because as far as like two-way forwards go, he looks very solid and he's putting up points. That's the only move that really makes sense. Because Skinner, Copeland, Lashoff, Altshuler, Kreider, I wouldn't want to drop down anybody to the fourth line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who else is in the... and then Schremp's also in the top 9. And he is a third line checker. So yeah, we'd have to give up on Gogolev if I honestly wanted to make this happen. I mean, I guess I should explore this, because this would be kind of like Cole Lind coming back from rebuilding Hockeytown. The only way, though, I'm willing to do this is if they retain salary, and I'm not even allowed to ask them to retain salary from that view. But now that I know one Warren Dirksen is on the block, see, we're in 4th right now. Winnipeg on 70 points. I mean, it's no wonder as to why we're only in 4th place in our division. We, again, have underperforming players. I set up Lowry and Kreider to be able to feed Lydecker to have a career year, and he's just not doing it. He's just not doing it. Warren Dirksen. Who did they want? They wanted, not Bradford. Who was the other low top 6? God damn it, who did they want? The funny thing is, they want a lot of the players. They wanted Sanford. They want a lot of the players that I'm actually alright with getting rid of. But again, the only way I will do this is if they retain half. It's the only way it's worth it to me. Maybe 4 million. But they have a ton of salary cap space. They can afford to do this. So, I won't even send them the player that I want to get rid of. I could just trade Alexiev separately. I'll try to use these players here. Sutter included. Essa Hall included. I know, it's crazy. I'm tempted to trade Essa Hall. So what about these 3? They'd have too many skaters. Alright, so Sutter and Sanford. And let's also go with... now, they wanted my first-round pick, which I'm cool with, because I expect us to do well and not be a lottery pick. Whereas San Jose and Washington are looking like half-decent picks. What if I give up Edmonton's, though? Is that enough? No. And we'd be sending them very similar players. So let me try that again. Should have paid attention to that, I suppose. Is there a defenseman in this group? Neterost, who we just signed. What if I give you Koriston instead? What do you think? I mean, you really wouldn't be filling the same role. You wouldn't be. One's a winger, one's a center. But okay. Let's just go with the one player. What do you think? Rejected. They're not comfortable in retaining the salary. Well, you will be with how many picks I'm going to throw your way. How about Edmonton's second as well? Dallas, you will retain salary here. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. You offered me Warren Dirksen. People have joked, or if not been serious about me getting Dirksen back, and maybe that's what we're missing. I will send you a small goddamn fortune because I don't really care with the amount of draft picks I have. You will retain the salary and you will like it. Look at what I'm offering you for this player. You have all the cap space in the world, but this game is so dumb sometimes. Doesn't make sense. What team would possibly reject that when they have that much salary cap space? Come on now. Just the first? All right. 30 is the lowest I'm willing to go. And even then, you know what? Nope, I'm going back up to 40. Screw you guys. Screw you guys. Come on, Dallas. Let's make this happen. They're retaining salary. I refuse to take him back. Could I afford it? Sure, but I'm not taking any fucking extra chances here. Oh, Dallas, you are so frustrating. Come on. Let's go. Make this happen. Jesus. Just retain something. Anything, you absolute scumbags. 30%. I really don't want to pay Warren Dirksen more than $5 million, guys. Let alone 7.3. Screw it. Even if it's just for this season. I'll bring him back. You better fucking be the piece that we are missing. You better be. You better be the one piece that is missing that will help get this team back in shape. We again are going to trade Gogolev. I'm going to have to change a couple of different things here, which is what it is. I'm sure the team's going to be very excited about me trading Gogolev. And in return here, I am going to get rid of Hall. I am going to get rid of Koriston. And that's good for now, even though I could easily get rid of more players. Actually, is there a team? There we go. Washington. I almost said Winnipeg. Washing machine. How about your first round pick next year? All right, we'll go for just 2 players. How about your first round pick next year, Washington? That should actually go through, even though they don't want Essa Hall. First and a second? Maybe. Just the first. You'd have to put Frederick Cowan on waivers. All right, well. I don't know who Frederick Cowan is, but I'll trade for him. Why not? I think they said it was a defenseman, right? Is he any good? Not really. God damn it, Washington. Why? Why you gotta be difficult? You know, whatever. I don't even need your first round pick next year. Just take these players that I don't need, please. I will let you win this trade. There you go. Really made it worth your while. And all of a sudden, Frederick Cowan, who cares? Look at this deal. Shows how much integrity you have. Shows how much you really care about Frederick Cowan, doesn't it? Oh my God, I didn't see that. Well, I think I made the right choice to play Jesus on the second line, guys. He's already a first-line player. Hey, maybe Jesus will replace Lydecker sooner rather than later. Warren Dirksen, welcome back. Given the current change in circumstance with Altshuler, you're going to be on the third line with Schremp and Copeland. Hope you're okay with that. You're probably not. I don't care. You have been putting up points as a two-way, so I expect you to do the same. Do I expect him to put up as many points now that he's on our third line? No. But he better put up some points. That's all I'm saying. He's got 44 now. He better break 60. There's no excuse for him to not break 60. So Lidecker's still doing all right. I am going to change Lowry to a playmaker to have a bit more offensive awareness. I'm going to change Lowry to the playmaker, or keep Lowry, but then again, as a playmaker, he's not doing anything. Change him to a sniper, maybe? Like, he's proven to be a solid playmaker, but now he's not getting any goals whatsoever. It's like even Nicholas Backstrom gets goals. Or are they just flat out underperforming? Could put Kreider as a two-way. Could put Kreider as pretty much anything. He's very well-rounded. Maybe put Kreider as like a power forward? Maybe put, you know what? I'm going to try Lydecker as a power forward. That's what I'm going to do. So, Lowry to a sniper, Lydecker to a power forward. Let's make that change first and foremost. Because that top line is not getting it done, and if they're not getting it done, we're dead on arrival. So, Lydecker, let's try something different. You're only 6 foot. Doesn't mean we can't play you as a power forward. If your attributes, describe you in that way. So let's change you to a power forward, number 49. Still like what I did with those jerseys. I do. Those are pretty sick jerseys. And then we'll change Alvin Lowry back to a sniper, which is what he was last year on the second line, and led him to have quite a bit of success. Changed him back to a playmaker to try and help, bolster up Leidecker. That was a disaster. Didn't work, is what it is. Let's double check what else we could potentially change here, whether player types, line combos. Dirksen is immediately our leading scorer. That's embarrassing. The top line's fine. Altschuler, Lashoff, Skinner's fine. All right. So, that's the thing. Altschuler hasn't even had power play time. I gotta put Copeland and Dirksen in on the defensive spots, I think. So Leidecker, Lowry, and I actually do have to go Altschuler on one of the power plays here. Let's take out Gostad for Copeland. All right, and then we'll take out Delisle. Was Skinner in that lineup? I don't think he was. So, yeah, there we go. We got who we wanted. So we'll go Copeland and Sizek, Dirksen and Tuzolino. And pretty much everyone gets that ice time that they're going to want. And I think we're okay. Hopefully. And then down in the AHL, we're going to have to set this up again, which sounds like a whole lot of fun, but hey, no injuries, so at least we only have to do it once, right? Right. I know you agreed with me as I said that. I know. What do we got? So it's going to be Bayer, and then we're pretty much good, if I remember right. Yep, just got to set it up properly. So medium elite and medium elite. Medium top four. Beautiful. There we go. All right, and then on the offensive side of things, we actually cleared out a couple more spots. Any right wings? Nope, just the backup centers. Let's go with... we're just going to go with the highest rated guys first. So let's put Janes in the lineup. Swap him with Versteeg. Menard's up to a 78, but still not a fourth line guy. Funny how that works. Oh, what do we want to do? We got a couple of medium top sixes. Coruscant continues to just improve at a fairly ridiculous rate. Not sure what's going on with him. I'm gonna drop Sutter for Kessel. Maybe. Yeah, let's go with this. Let's get it set up relatively quickly here. Change scratch tints over. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I feel like this will work out all right. Who's the better center? We'll go for Ryder, and then Coruscant is a better center than Bradford. Not in terms of faceoffs, but looked like it was the case in terms of defense. So there you go. It finally happened. Warren Dirksen is a Whaler. Yet again. Will it lead to success? We're going to find out. We have a little bit of time. We are actually going to have to sim up just at the trade deadline, and I think we'll probably end the episode there unless we really start turning it around. We beat Dallas 4-1 in our first game since the trade. I am intrigued to see how this team does and whether or not that appears to actually kind of solve our problems. We've outscored our opponents a very solid 11-2, as we have now won 4 straight games, make it 5 straight games since the trade. I have to wonder, has the top line turned it around since we made the changes that we did? At this point, I'm going to edit the trading block too. I don't want to sit here and get any of the trade offers. The only trade offer I was even willing to entertain was if we actually got that Dirksen offer. I didn't think we'd actually get it. We did. Lo and behold, we got a deal done. Not that I'm too happy about not having to pay him a reduced salary. I'm not very happy with the Dallas Stars about refusing to retain some salary, but it is what it is. Technically, I can afford it. Joe Brouwer? No, you are... I can see why you're being sent down to the AHL. Let's put it nicely and leave it at that. Pressburg's still not happy about his ice time, which I could change him to a fourth liner. It's probably going to be his last season here anyway. There's really not a whole hell of a lot I can do for him. He has been jumped in terms of the depth chart, and that's a reality that he is going to have to deal with here as we are approaching the final week of the sim that I selected. And we're going to lose 2 out of 3. 3 points out of a possible 6. Not ideal. 36 wins on the season. We are in third place, barely, over the St. Louis Blues. Dirksen has scored a marvelous 7 points in that time and is still our leading scorer. Let's take a look here. Lydecker, 2020. Not good enough. Flat out not good enough. He put up 72 points last year playing with McKinnon. He's the main guy on this line. He is good enough attribute-wise to get the job done, and he's not. Second liner? Sure. Fourth liner especially. That's not good enough. It's not. Flat out. Alvin Lowry has a couple more goals now since we switched him. 35 points for our top line center, playing with the caliber of players that he is on that first line with. It's not good enough. And same for Owen Kreider. Not good enough. I could sit here. You know what? Here, let's do this. And I'll tell you. I'll show you why it's not good enough as we go look at the player stats. And I guarantee you there are players who have more assists than our guys that honestly shouldn't. They just flat out shouldn't. So, let's see. Let's take a look at the assists. Who is a terrible player that has more assists? Oh, there we go. You know, an 81 overall center. I wonder who... No, let's go check out the San Jose Sharks and see who McCauley plays for. Or with. We know he plays for the Sharks. Who does he play with on that line? Let's go check out the San Jose Sharks. Unless he's playing with Wayne frickin' Gretzky, I'm not going to consider it acceptable. Oh, he plays with a 78 and a 71. That is why I'm not happy with our top line's production. They are getting outworked by a 23-year-old 81 overall player. It's not good enough. Lydecker has 4 more goals than this guy. I don't know. Blame it on the sim engine or just the way the game works, whatever. Bottom line is, I'm not happy. I got every right to be pretty damn pissed at our top line's production. Altschuler, tremendous progression this year. 30 points, again, not great. I mean, he's already hit his point total from last year. I mean, is it too much to want to have a second line guy hit 50? I don't think so, especially with his offensive talents. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed. Lashoff in his first year here, even at 19 years old, 31 points. He had 47 last year. He's going to have a hard time hitting that pace. Disappointing. Ron Skinner, 35 points, already passed last season's point total. Would still like him to get 15 more points this year. He might have an outside chance at it, maybe. I'm disappointed, guys. Warren Dirksen, of course, like I said, he had, 7 points since rejoining the team. Cristiano Schremp is well on his way to hitting 30 points. If he hits 30, I'm happy. Honestly, I don't think it's out of the question. Around 70, around 50, around 30. That's what I look for, and when you look at the attributes, it kind of backs that up. Not the case. Copeland, almost at 30 points, so that power play time is working out. So Robinson Copeland's hitting the mark, but of course he's playing on in a reduced role. McAllister, 15 points, not bad. I mean, again, 20 points for a fourth liner is very solid if he can hit it. Same for Pressburg and Cristiano Wagner. So I'm very happy with the fourth line. They're doing well. They're on track. Sizek, 12 goals, 32 assists. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to say, like, oh, well, of course, your guys aren't going to be putting up points as much because your defensemen are so offensively oriented. It still doesn't explain. Well, that could explain why maybe the fourth line's doing a bit better point production-wise. But still, if Sizek's scoring 12 goals, I'd like to think that the assist would be higher for some of these other players. Like, I mean, the assists are up there. Sure, they're decent. But, okay, Isaac has 12 goals. How many does Tuzolino have? 11? Okay, 7, 5, 3, and 1. So our top pairing's good. Delisle's done all right in terms of goal scoring. But it doesn't work out that way, where we can really blame Isaac and Tuzolino alone for the lack of production on the offensive side of things. The only reason, surprise, surprise, why we are even in a playoff spot right now is Petrolainen, who has consistently been one of the best goalies I think I've had in any series. I mean, he's right up there with Harold Van Katischen from last year in rebuilding Hockeytown. He is just a consistent performer in the regular season. Look at these save percentages since he joined the NHL. He played 8 games in relief in 2022, and in 2023 he was also called up as a relief goaltender. But since he has been our starter over the past 5 years now, well, it's a 6th year here, his lowest save percentage was the one he had in his rookie season, a .923. Like, he is a monster. And I shudder to think where this team would be, as Bartley's actually been a bit rough as a backup this year. I shudder to think where this team would be if it wasn't for the goaltending, because we do have so many underperforming players, and it is quite disappointing. So for that reason, we are going to call it an episode. Next episode, we will wrap up the regular season and go through our first round postseason matchup, or maybe we'll go all the way through. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. I mean, I'm open for any theories right now, but to say I'm disappointed in our top line would be an understatement. We got rid of Nathan MacKinnon. We positioned Lydecker to be a 40-goal man, and it's not there. He was supposed to be the hope for this team, and so far, I mean, it's not out of the question to drop him to the second line. I mean, at least in my opinion, maybe that's a bit drastic, but I have a hard time believing that Altshuler couldn't put up 40 points on that top line too. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is incredibly disappointing to have was it Isaac as our leading goal scorer? Let me go back. Who had the 23 goals? Oh, that's right, it was Dirksen. Lydecker at 20, Skinner at 16, Isaac was at 12. It's incredibly disappointing to have Warren Dirksen still be our leading goal scorer. That shouldn't be the case. But like I mentioned, when you look at these players, like, you know, these point totals, Puljujarvi, McDavid, makes all the sense in the world. Tuzolino might be a little bit questionable. Kaliko and Jost, no real surprise there. Same with Rantanen, Gallant, Ottawa, we know that combo's worked. Brashear in Arizona, 86 points. I don't recall seeing anybody that he's on a team with. McKinnon has 55 points because, of course, he does. What did he have for us last year? He had 72. So McKinnon's potentially on pace to at least get close to 70 again. I mean, like I said, assist-wise, there were prime examples. But Carolina, Buffalo, Arizona, I mean, I'm just waiting for that. There you go. An 82 overall, has 49 points. Dvorak, Modine, 83s. McCauley's up there. Yet Lucas Lydecker's not. Why? Is what we need to figure out. 82s, 83s. I mean, Marner's still in Arizona. Remember when we had Marner? Phil Quick is still up there. Scumbag. I mean, it's just, there you go. 82 overall on Toronto. Let's check Toronto, actually. Let's take a look at Graham Stepan and see why he has more points than all of our top line. Regardless, guys, as we take this extra journey to look towards Toronto, let me know what you think. What should we do? He plays with 82 Peverley and 80 Robertson. Robertson, solid prospect. I mean, he does have 96 offensive awareness and a solid shot, but I mean, he's playing, in fairness, actually, the third line, the offensive awarenesses are pretty solid. You know, so here's a decent, actually pretty solid third line, that are capable of putting up points. Should they be putting up more points than our first line? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode as this series has continued on. We find ourselves in a pretty frustrating spot at the moment, but we are currently on pace to make the playoffs. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. I am slightly concerned, But I suppose we'll find out next time. Looking forward to seeing your suggestions and feedback as far as what we should do. As always, you know what you can do to support the video and the channel. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Check those out and follow me on both of those platforms if you haven't already done so. And until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.